Hi there, this is Danielle Lazier. I am a real estate agent here in San Francisco, California. So where to begin? All right, first things first. I want to say that myself and everyone I work with on my team, we stand with the Black community, the Black Lives Matter community, and all those who are working for social justice and to dismantle the systemic and institutional racism in our country and throughout the world. You know, despite San Francisco's reputation for openness, it is not immune to inequity. In real estate, the city's history of discrimination dates all the way back to its founding. Our team's recent newsletter kind of gets into more details on this, so feel free to DM or sign up for our newsletter. There's a link in the bio. Really interesting and important stuff. So this month is also the 50th anniversary of the San Francisco Pride celebration. The 2020 Pride Parade has been canceled due to COVID-19. There is a slate of online activities and events that are happening at the end of the month. But wow, you know, 2 decades living here in San Francisco, Pride is a big deal here in San Francisco, and it's really sad that it's not happening, and the 50th anniversary no less. And these are those moments where I'm like, wow, what is going on in this world? And when will we be able to go out and be together and celebrate each other? And of course, we are nowhere near the finish line of this global pandemic, and we must remain vigilant in our resolve to protect our communities. Okay, so now for real estate. Did you see the Bloomberg article about the mad rush of homebuyers fleeing San Francisco for less congested areas like the suburbs? Yes, that was all the rage this week. And while I have no reason to doubt its veracity of the article, and you know, we may have contributed a little bit with our second home buying workshop, it does feel a bit premature to assess any long-term demographic shifts and permanent changes based on the coronavirus. You know, we're still under stricter shelter in place here, and it's just a little premature, I think, to say it's the end of city living and the end of San Francisco based on a few anecdotes. But, you know, I'm sure that those things are true, and people are always leaving the city for the suburbs. That's kind of the natural progression. But there's other people who love being here. You know, for example, the other night I was at Golden Gate Park for a socially distanced meetup with 3 other moms of preschool-aged children. And they were telling me that shelter in place has actually reinvigorated their love of San Francisco. You know, how many open spaces we have here, and big parks and beaches, as well as the fact that you can get around to, you know, the most essential things that you need to do in pretty much all parts of town on foot or on bike. And that's really, really special. And for them, it was reinforcing what they love about living in the city and raising their family in the city. So I thought that was pretty cool. They also told me some fun stuff about takeout that they've been doing. My one friend and her family are now making it a ritual to do Che Fico once a week. And so there's this whole process, I guess, for Che Fico takeout, and it's definitely now on my list of must-haves. We also talked about how fun it is to have these to-go cocktails that are popping up from restaurants around town. And, you know, one of them tried the Manhattan from Spruce. I've tried the margarita from the front porch. There's apparently a Wayfair Tavern van that's going around town, you know, food truck. So, you know, where have you been getting takeout and cocktails that you've loved? I would love to hear about it and add it to my list. So, you know, with all the fuss about how the homebuyers are fleeing San Francisco, it did make me think about the hype from last year. Who remembers last year's crazy real estate hype? Oh yes, the IPO money. The IPO money that would be paving the streets with gold and flooding us with newly minted millionaires. Well, that was all the rage in cocktail parties last year, as well as listing appointments for sure with sellers. And am I wrong to say that it feels like a million years ago now? So we'll see what sticks. Generally speaking, market activity, meaning the number of listings going into contract, so that's like today's data, is continuing to pick up rapidly in May, coming back from a steep plunge after shelter-in-place orders were put into effect. Now, the numbers are still down about 60% year over year for May. And May is generally one of our busiest months of the year. So sales are way down still, even though they have been coming up with a steep curve. And we're expecting that recovery to continue to surge even closer to normal levels, actually, at least in terms of market activity. I think pricing, depending on where and what, may be a different story. Median sales prices in May for both houses and condos did drop significantly, but keep in mind that the data set is 60% less than normal. And some of the higher priced home sales with steep discounts would mess with those numbers. But that was what it was saying. So some agents and some folks believe that the coming months are actually going to be even busier in 2020 than they were in 2019 because of this deferred sales activity from the spring. And plus, interest rates are again at a historic all-time low, and they're probably going to stay that way for a while. Don't you feel like it's like every other week where they're like interest rates at historic lows? They've been low for years, and they're probably going to stay low for years. So for us to tell if fair market value is actually changing on the whole, unfortunately, I feel like we're going to have to wait over the next few months to see as sales activity comes back whether there actually are any changes. And I've talked about the early mover advantage before, and I still kind of believe in this because it's way too soon to tell what's going to happen. And as time goes on, there will be more comps. And so if you feel like the comps are going to be really good comps for you, that there won't be more sellers on the market making changes, and that buyers won't want some sort of courage discount, then that's one thing. But if you think that they might, and there might be more inventory, then you'll want to be selling, with the current comps or as soon as you can in your own life, for sure. But word on the street is that buyer demand has come surging back, and that is what we're seeing on our team. And the same does seem to be true for the rental market. I asked my friend and colleague Tracy Ballard of SF City Rents what she had to say about that article and what she's seeing in the rental market. And she says, so we're getting about 3 times the number of vacancies we normally see. Much of that was already planned moves that were delayed for the last 3 months because of the lockdown. There's still plenty of tenants looking for quality single-family homes and small condo buildings and rentals, and they are renting them at good rents at a fast clip. So it's a typical mix, she's saying, of locals looking to upgrade as well as new arrivals to San Francisco. So that's the rental market. What our sales team is experiencing, boots on the ground, is that the single family home and smaller condo TIC buildings remains really robust at all price points. For example, our buyer competed against 8 other offers last week for a TIC in Nopa that she won, and an $18 million home sold in less than a week with multiple offers. So there are many, many unknowns regarding the virus and the economy, obviously, and that will continue for a long time. I will probably keep saying that too. And we're gonna have to just wait and see what's coming up. But today, I can say that serious buyers and sellers are making it happen. So if you want to keep tabs on this stuff and more, please sign up for our twice monthly newsletter. And of course, follow me here on social media, in particular Instagram. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.